like everybody else, I was sort of sucked in by the magic of Claudia.
I got started working on the magazine by being a part of Claudia's journalism class as well as her 208 multimedia journalism class.
I got started working on the magazine because I had a general interest in photography.
I worked on the first magazine. Originally it was a newspaper, and then when I started working on it as a writer, that was my real interest, writing and editing.
I had to write an article for an assignment, and she really liked it, and she had asked me at the time if she could save it for a future publication. So that's how I got connected to this particular magazine.
I took a class with Claudia in spring 2014. She told me, you can join the staff, You can put some things on your resume and they can teach you a lot of things.
She noticed my editing skills and she's like, hey, I'm going to be starting up with what was the newspaper at the time. She said, I'd like you to come on. Is that something you'd be interested in? I'm like, sure. I like editing. I like giving people feedback. And she somehow managed to keep her claws in me ever since.
This was my first year as editor-in-chief of the magazine, which is why it's my favorite issue, obviously.
Well, I did writing, editing, photography, and I headed up the Instagram account.
My role in the magazine was a general staff writer / photographer. I would go through and give general advice to everyone else that was writing in the same class as me.
Well, my role is writing and editing, and copy editing specifically.
I've helped out a lot with photography. For a while I was photo editor, and now I'm more of a photo advisor.
Well, I was secretary, writer, and editor for the staff.
This is a hard question because I think my role at the time, I was an editor for one of the issues, and then I was a contributor to 2 of the magazines.
My role was design specialist, so I come in, clean up the magazine, get it ready for print, and I also wrote an article on dog sledding in Alaska.
My official role was the art director, but my other roles was being a nuisance and being a distraction to everybody.
My favorite article in the issue is, of course, my piece. It was fun because I got to interview a former staff member, but also kind of learn about how he came to America from Nigeria.
Favorite article was probably rail fanning, where the guy takes pictures of the moving trains. I feel like that was a pretty interesting article.
My favorite article of this issue has to be the one about coming to America with a good friend of mine, Uchenna. Uchenna I had a couple classes with when I was here at HCC. We worked on a couple projects together, and it's a really neat story.
My article is called Hope for the Children of Haiti, and the article was first written in 2014 after I took my second trip to Haiti to accompany a friend of mine that is pursuing an adoption of a little boy in an orphanage.
My favorite article, the issue, would probably be the one that I was in front of. A lot of people just see me on the front cover oh man, you're that guy from the magazine. My family just thought I was doing something in my life because I was front cover of the magazine.
The most stressful moment about working on this issue was working on this issue. There was a whole total of 4 staff members, so it was definitely a lot to handle.
A stressful moment, do I have to pick one? Time, mainly, just all around time is very difficult.
The most stressful moment was probably designing the Skating Through Life piece, because there's a lot of design elements involved.
Most stressful part of working on this issue must have been getting the right design for how I wanted my article to feel.
This is my first time writing for the magazine, so I didn't have any experience writing any articles, so I didn't know what to expect or what to do.
My stressful moments, I'll probably say just meeting the deadline for Claudia, because once you meet that deadline, she gets on you about that.
Advice I would give to future staff members would probably be have fun with it. It's definitely a serious thing to do. I think having fun with it is most important.
Don't underestimate your capabilities of writing. Go through and proofread and proofread and proofread. I was amazed at some of the stuff that I could write.
You are capable of much more than you know. If there's a situation where you feel nervous or uncomfortable, to just try your best to put yourself out there.
Make sure that you stay on top of things. Don't wait till the last minute. Create a schedule for yourself to get the things that you need to get done and stick with it.
Just say go with it, learn new things. You'll definitely get a lot of experience outside of the classroom.
Just embrace the moment for real. Just go on trips with the staff, learn new things, you know, because that's your circle right there. That's people that's going to help you in the future.
Take yourself seriously. Treat yourself like a professional, and it's okay to have fun. You want to have fun. At the same time, if you're not taking yourself seriously, then none of anything that you do is going to be worth the time and effort that you put into it.
Ooh. My favorite Claudia moment is when one day we were super stressed out. We were feeling the heat. It was just her and I in the alcove, and she takes a picture with the SOS sign. It was hilarious, and she actually recruited people to come in and help us.
I needed to set up a photography shoot with the tea restaurant, and I called them. I came back into the room and I pretended that the call went horribly, and I told Claudia that they weren't going to let us come in, and I had gotten kind of rude with the owner. I really thought like she would know that I was kidding, because there's no way I would act like that to somebody, but she thought I had really just lost my temper.
The time we went on the New York trip and she found out I had rode the subway when she told us not to.
Claudia, I can't really give a specific moment, but when I think of Claudia, I think of an extremely energetic person who wants to get you to do your very best, and she pushes, but she cares deeply about you, and she's like your biggest cheerleader.